and welcome to another episode of Good Samaritan Spotlight. I'm Adam Thacker, President and Chief Administrative Officer here at Good Samaritan, and excited to host this episode looking at the great programs and people that have such an impact here at Good Samaritan. And I'm thrilled today to be joined by Dr. Justin Johnson. Welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So, Dr. Johnson, you serve as a psychiatrist here. Let's meet you a little bit. Talk about kind of what led up to practicing as a psychiatrist. Where'd you do your medical school? Where'd you train?
Yeah. So my first career actually was in the computer programming, internet, and I realized I needed something with more people involvement. I wasn't good just on computers. I needed people. And so I went to medical school, and also at medical school at the same time, I got a PhD in biochemistry, which is the way the molecules, medicines or other molecules interact with your molecules. And so I found that really interesting. So I completed both medical school and my research in biochemistry. And believe it or not, I went to family medicine first. We both know some family docs we admire. And so I went into family medicine for a year, and I realized that although it's valuable, noble, wonderful, it wasn't right. It wasn't what I needed. And I had this deep interest in psychology. And so as much as I loved my family medicine panel, I really had to do something else. So I withdrew from that residency. And I applied here at Good Sam. And I was part of the first class here. The forums are right. We are still in touch. We talked last night. We talk all the time. And so that was an absolutely amazing experience. 4 years that I treasure. And I was fully prepared to go out and practice psychiatry after that. Because of my wife's training, my wife's also a physician. She's worked at Good Sam, right? But because of my wife's training, we moved to South Carolina. And so I was there for 2 years, and I worked with the Veterans Administration. Really enjoyed outpatient psychiatry. Really would love to keep doing that because you get to build these relationships. And if you think of it, it's almost the exact opposite of that computer programming thing. I was missing something, and now I've kind of come full circle. Of course, nowadays, as you mentioned, I'm in emergency services. I'm also consults liaison inside the hospital. But yeah, I'm excited about these new adventures. I'm excited I'm going to get a chance here to work with the academic research stuff that I did in the past. So it feels like a journey. I didn't know every step.
Sure.
But it feels like this is where I should have been the whole time. So It's some corny. I'm sorry if that sounds corny, but that's how I feel.
Oh, and congratulations on the phenomenal education and background, and truly not liking free time. To get a PhD and be in medical school at the same time. But
that was tough. That was tough. But it was worth it.
So it led you to where you are.
Yeah.
So you mentioned prior you were outpatient psychiatry. Yeah, same to Good Samaritan. You're in the emergency department, emergency services. Mm-hmm. Talk a little bit about what a typical day looks like. And I know there's not a typical day, but just what comes to mind as to what a typical day would be for folks that are watching this to just understand what the psychiatric care in the emergency services realm is.
Well, as you know, I part of my time at least is spent in the emergency department with Dr. Lance Payton, and I say his name's strange, with Dr. Lance Payton and their team. And the thing about the emergency department is that we keep in mind that for most of the people there, this might be the worst day of their lives. And so, psychiatry must be there. It's such an important part of it. On a typical day, I guess I would normally see about 5 to 7 people down in the emergency department here. That's what I've seen so far. And most often I'll see them for things like medication reactions or the lack of medication working, being able to control their mental health symptoms. Unfortunately, I'll see some psychosis just meaning the stimuli that are coming in don't match the stimuli of the world. So if you are seeing things that aren't there, that's psychotic. Or if you're imagining things that aren't real, that's psychotic. And so I see that. And unfortunately, that can happen from a number of different causes. So I work those out. And also, sadly, some people have such degrees of sadness in their life that they may not want to be alive anymore. And to us, that's a definition of you require additional care. So About a third of the time, what we'll do is we'll hook them up with outpatient resources, our own psychiatry residency clinic across the street. There's other psychiatrists around. If we need to for their safety, we will bring them up to LaSalle Behavioral Health, start medications, keep an eye on them for a couple days, usually not too long, just enough to make sure they're safe, and then go home. So I will see some psychosis, which we can usually fix that. I will see some suicidality, which, we try to give them perspective and medication. And so that's what I typically see.
I think that's so important that you mention just the vast array of patients that you see. Because typically when we think emergency department, the immediate image is worse of the word, whether it's a vehicle trauma or a gunshot wound. And then when we're thinking psychiatric, we're thinking, somebody in restraints and psychosis and the screaming and yelling and harmful. And that can happen. And you do deal with that. But there are also a lot of patients that are coming in and have a need before they get to that point. And that's a part of today, hopefully, that we're providing some education to say, we're here, we have trained psychiatry team in emergency services, come and seek help. There certainly is not going to be any shame or concern of coming in, and we're going to set you up with outpatient or inpatient, wherever you need to go. So I know one of the things we talked about before we got started was you've been really innovative in psychiatric care and started when you were a resident here. So talk a little bit about part of your practice that you've integrated that I think is just so cool that we're doing here.
Sure, absolutely. When I was a fourth year resident here, our training is 4 years. When I was a fourth year resident, Dr. Thomas gave me the flexibility to schedule a clinic for hypnosis. It was called the Mind Clinic, and that stood for motivation, insomnia, nicotine, and diet. And so for people who needed these things adjusted in their life and really wanted to listen to their own mind, because all of us have this inner voice that almost in a way sabotages us. And so what hypnosis does is it quiets that down for long enough to really help you focus and meet your true desires. And so I have hypnotist myself. I am a hypnotist, and I also have one. I really believe in it. But I'd say probably the most exciting thing I'm doing right now, and I didn't pre-brief you on this, but you remember I said research, and I remember I said everything's a full circle. Well, we're bringing research here. It's a very innovative arrangement we have with the IU School of Medicine. And so it's very innovative. And what we're working on right now is people can't fall asleep in the restaurant or in the hospital. I'm sorry. People can't fall asleep in the hospital sometimes. Insomnia. Yeah. So what do we do for that? We give them medicines. And as you know, these medicines can have complications, side effects. What if we could instead give them a way to focus on being able to fall asleep without a medicine? And so one way to do that would be hypnosis. So I've been speaking with IU to arrange for potentially a randomized clinical trial to be able to use hypnosis here in the hospital to help our patients fall asleep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Prevent falls, prevent confusion, prevent delirium. And maybe even when they get home, they could keep using it there.
Right.
So hypnosis, I know I did it. I still do it for motivation, insomnia, nicotine, and diet. But insomnia.
Right.
So.
Oh, and that's very cool. As you said, as much as we want patients to be able to rest when they're in the hospital and recovery, we do have hundreds of patients and hundreds of employees, and there are noises and sounds that are the sounds of healthcare being delivered.
Right.
But nonetheless, they can impact sleep. And so I think a lot of times when we think of hypnosis, we don't think of those applications, but that is very cool, and appreciate you taking that on. And as a pharmacist, as you said, from a medication standpoint, there are medications to absolutely help patients with going to sleep and treat insomnia, but they do come with side effects. So help anytime that we can use non-pharmaceutical or fewer interventions or fewer or the same medicine, but less, then that is
Why
great.
not? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because the medicines are very effective, but they're not nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
So we agree. Excellent. So as we're kind of wrapping up here, mental health in general, it doesn't just affect the patient. Yeah. There's families, there's friends, there's coworkers, there are other individuals that maybe see things sooner than the patient. What would be the advice for those individuals around somebody that may be struggling to identify, to feel comfortable in saying, maybe you should go to the ER and get evaluated, or call our hotline and seek outpatient care, but what should they look for?
Well, I think all of us know at least one or two people who could probably benefit from a little extra help. And that's what it is really. Mental health, you just really need a little extra help. And it happens to maybe not to every single person in life, but so many people, it's widespread. So what can you do? If the symptoms are interfering with their function, they need to consider medication. Step one is talk to your primary care doctor. We have terrific primary care doctors, nurse practitioners, terrific. Usually that will be sufficient for most people. If you've tried 2 or 3 medications, and maybe some therapy, and things are still not improving, your function is not improving, it's time to seek specialist care. And that will be our psychiatry residency clinic or other psychiatrists. If your life or well-being are in danger, or someone else's life or well-being is in danger, come to the ER. And if you have questions, just come to the ER. I would much rather hook you up with the outpatient resources you need and gently guide you back home to your outpatient environment. I'd rather do that than, God forbid, read about something on the newspaper, right? So please come in. I'll help you. I'll talk to me. Monday to Friday, right? Me. I'll talk to you. But if you're in doubt, come to the ER. But also remember, you have terrific primary care doctors, nurse practitioners. We have a huge network for Good Sam. So I love them. They're great.
Right. Well, on behalf of Good Samaritan and certainly our community, thank you for everything that you're doing to impact mental health here. It's a national problem.
Yeah.
And is a epidemic of its own. But I feel very blessed in Vincent's and Good Samaritan, the resources that we have here through the residency, through inpatient services, outpatient services. Sometimes you don't know what you don't know. And there are many communities our size that there is no emergency services presence at all. There is no outpatient presence, and it's going hours away and long waits. So truly making an impact every day.
Yeah. We were lucky.
Yeah. Any final comments?
Since I've been back, might get a little emotional about this. Since I've been back, people just seeing me in the elevators, just saying welcome back. I can't tell you how warm that feels. It was not easy in South Carolina, so we are lucky to be here. I'm lucky to be here. So thank you to everyone who said thank you to me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Okay. Well, thank you all for watching this episode of Good Samaritan Spotlight. Have a great day.